Today I'm going to show you how you can take cording, fabric, and a really cool presser foot and make your own piping for an assortment of projects. Hey everybody, Trisha here with Sewing Parts Online. So let's look at the welting foot. Here we have a snap-on, and here we have a couple of screw-ons. This one is a single welt foot, and this one is a double. You can tell if it's single or double by turning it over and checking the amount of grooves on the bottom of the foot. Because this foot helps you create piping, another name for it is, you guessed it, piping foot. Let's say you have a variety of feet with your machine and the welting foot came with it, but you're not sure of the size. If you simply flip it over and measure the distance across the tunnel, that's going to tell you what size welting foot you have. When using a welting foot, for best results, you want to use the same size piping or cording as the size of your presser foot. If you were using a really thick fabric, you wouldn't be able to use the same size foot as your piping because it's not going to have enough room. So then you would have to go up a size to allow for that thickness. Here I pre-made some piping. You can see that it's all enclosed. Now, this is a medium weight woven fabric. Let me grab a heavier fabric. So this is a faux leather. You can see that it didn't enclose it all the way. Technically, it's okay, but in this particular circumstance, I would have done a larger welting foot. To make your own strips is pretty easy. We're gonna go ahead and grab a little fat quarter. So that's going to be 18 by 22. Unfortunately, you can't see the whole thing on the screen here, so I'll do my best to show you each side as I'm working on it. So what you want to do first is grab the bottom right and bring it up to the top left and make sure that that top part is nice and even. Just like that. So you're going to form a triangle here and have an extra rectangle on the side. We can cut that little rectangle off and you can save it for later for a different project. This is your bias edge. So now that you've folded it into a triangle, you want to cut along the bias edge. There we go. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's totally fine. As long as you've cut on the bias, we're going to clean everything up here in just a moment. So we're going to take the top right part of the triangle and bring it down to this bottom left here. Match that up as best you can. Keep in mind what your bias edge is. Okay, so we've got our bias edge. We're going to carefully rotate that and put it vertically in front of us. Now here's where the cleanup part comes in. If you want to take a rotary cutter and a ruler and just clean up that edge, then we'll cut 2-inch strips. So now that I've cleaned up that edge, I can do the 2-inch strips. I'm just going to bring this over here. Now lift up your ruler and do it again. And just keep doing this until you're done. At this point, we are going to attach these all together in order to form a continuous strip of fabric. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I just need 2 pieces. I like to use different sizes since this one's longer and this one's shorter. We'll use those 2. Now you don't want to just match these up. That's not going to end up turning out correctly. So you want to lay one piece right side up and you're going to form a 90-degree angle. So I'll be taking the next strip and doing it right side down and then placing it like this. I always like to double check that once you open it up, it's going to be a straight piece of fabric. You want to overhang on each side a 1/4 inch to allow for that seam allowance. So then you would go and sew your 1/4 inch. There we go, and I sewed my 1/4 inch and I got sloppy on that, but that is totally fine in this particular case. Not always. We're going to be able to encase the piping and all of this is going to be hidden. So with it being uneven there, that's totally fine, but under normal circumstances, you want it to be a straight line. So I'm going to try that again. Take the strip that we've attached. We're going to form that 90-degree angle. So again, we're gonna overlap, and let's see if I get it right this time. There we go, that looks a lot better. Now press open your seams and then trim off any excess on the tips. Lay your piping in the strip and fold it over. You can pin it or you can use Wonder Clips. I grabbed this red fabric. It shows up a little bit better on film, so hopefully you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now that you've prepared your cording, you can place it underneath your presser foot, making sure that the cording is within the groove that you're wanting. You don't want to pierce the cording with the needle. You actually want it just on the edge. We actually have another video on the welting foot. There's some more tips and tricks in there, so I will include a link for that video at the end of this video. I grabbed a scrap piece here to show you that you can also use a narrow zipper foot or an adjustable zipper foot to insert piping. So just keep in mind that you do have to adjust your needle in order for it not to hit the foot. So I need to get as close as possible to the piping. So I'm going to move my needle over to the right. And remember, you don't want to catch the piping, you just want to be right on the edge. So I think I may be good, maybe, well, that's as far as I can go, so that works perfect. Hold it tight to the fold, and then sew. Stop, readjust, make sure it's tight. Oh, what's my thread doing? Well, let's fix that. There we go. So this is another option, like I said, if you don't have a welting foot. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe. That way you'll get notified of any future video that we have. Although using the zipper foot is a great technique, I do prefer using the welting foot just because that tunnel makes it so nice and easy for the cording to be directed correctly, and it just makes the piping making process, the piping making process more enjoyable. Here I've made a Christmas pillow showing off some piping. Although this is probably one of the more common ways to use a welting foot, it doesn't exclusively have to be used for pillows and upholstery. I was thinking about it the other day. If you place several pieces of cording next to each other and continued and just made a textured fabric, you could turn it into like a potted plant cover. Have you seen those natural woven baskets? Just kind of make your own makeshift one. I think it'd look really cool. Do you have any unique ideas where you could use the welting foot? Comment below. I hope that you enjoyed learning about the welting foot. Until next time, happy sewing, everybody.